one of the things that we know about translanguaging, right, is bilinguals and multilinguals are constantly using all of the resources, linguistic and otherwise, that they have at their disposal. So even if you tell them, for example, just think in English, just do it in English, what they produce might come out in only English, but their thinking process tends to involve what seems like more than one language. My name is Ryan Pontier. I am an assistant professor at Florida International University. As a practice, translanguaging is what bilinguals and multilinguals do, again, to communicate and to be understood effectively. And as a pedagogy, it's the way that we leverage those particular practices of our students for learning purposes. So Spanglish or code switching, right, is this external perspective. It's something that the observer notices and interprets as the use or the switching back and forth or the combining of two or more separate languages. So translanguaging might sound like what we think of as the use of two or more languages. So when I was teaching third grade in the Rio Grande Valley of Texas, my students sometimes said something like, "Voy a la house a las 4." So I'm going home at 4 o'clock. And so you might think of that as moving back and forth between two languages, but we can also think of it as it's all coming from one place. So it's all language, and we've just sort of categorized it as one language or another. You might hear somebody say something in what we think of as one language, and then someone else responding in another. For example, different modalities. I might watch TV in Spanish, but I might tell my sister about it in English. So in the classroom, you, for example, could have a book that's only available in English, but beforehand you might preview it using Spanish. So if the teacher is capable and has students who understand Spanish, or even those who don't, right, you can preview in Spanish, you can read it in English, dialogically, right, engaging in questioning and think aloud, and then review it at the end in Spanish. It might also be that a teacher who's monolingual, right, who only uses, for example, English, can set up so that there are paired readings, right? That there is the reading is available in the target language, which in the United States often tends to be English, and in the student's home language, if it's a written language, if the student already reads in that language, of course. If not, then it might be possible to get a recording. Things like YouTube, right, have recordings of books or others in various languages. It's a way that we can pull in parents and family members, right, that they can record themselves reading something or saying something or singing something on their phones, and then send it or text it to the teachers so that they can play it and use it in class. Because translanguaging is a very natural, intelligent, critical way to be bilingual and multilingual. For those of us who have studied translanguaging and others who I follow who have grown up being bilingual since early on, it's just the way that we are, right? And so precluding people from being the way that they are and learning that way is problematic.